UFC Fight Night 90, Allen versus Curtis 2, breakdown and predictions. First up, Melissa Mullins versus Nora Cornell. But before we get into those predictions, can I just ask you to go and leave a like on this video? Maybe comment down below what you think. Maybe you think I'm wrong on some of these picks. Maybe you got your own opinions on how it's going to go down. I'm interested to hear it. I'm still new to this, so your comments will definitely be seen. Definitely don't forget to subscribe because I've got more banger videos coming your way. Let's get into it. I'm picking Mullins. The English do not lose to the French. It's a fact. Look it up. It's just everyone knows it. And Mullins is going to continue to prove that fact scientifically by submitting Canal. So, yeah. Next up, we have Dylan Budka versus Cesar Almeida. Grappler versus striker. If Budka wrestles, he wins easily. But we all saw what happened in Atlantic City last week. So let's hope he actually does what he was training his whole life to do. You know, honestly, the wrestling is a dominant force inside the octagon. I think he gets the submission. I'm gonna go Budka by sub. Just don't think Almeida has any answers for him. Gene Massamuto versus Dan Agueta. Ugh. Gene Massamuto versus Dan Agueta. Everyone's picking the hot prospect from Brazil. Everyone's picking the hot prospect from Brazil. Fumbling my words. Massamuto. But I'm leaning towards Argueta. Now, don't get me wrong. Argueta? Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Argueta is terrible. Like, he's bad. He's just bad. But just bad for in the UFC isn't the same as just bad outside of the UFC, you know? I do feel like he's being fed to Masamuto to keep the hype train going. I just think sometimes when you come across a prospect who's like 14-0 on the regional scene, you kind of think to yourself like maybe they're not. Either they're amazing and they're going to take the sport by storm, or you know they've been fighting cans. So I'm gonna go Dan Argueta reluctantly. I'm gonna go Dan Argueta by sub. Um, I think Masamuto makes a mistake. I think even if he has been dominating on the regionals, losses teach you being punished for your mistakes uh, teaches you a lot, and that happens a lot in the gym. But sometimes a fight's a lot different, and that needs to happen in a fight. So we'll see because Dan Agueta's lost a lot, so he should be very experienced in how not to lose. Right? Is kind of what I'm going for here. Maybe I'm overthinking it. That just feels ridiculous. Calvillo versus Rodriguez. That's Cynthia Calvillo versus Piera Rodriguez. I'm picking Rodriguez. Okay. Calvillo is over the hill. She's 36. She's riding a five-fight losing streak, and I don't think she's gonna flip the table. I don't think she's gonna tip the scale. You know, I think she's gonna win this one. Yeah. Dana, if you're watching, maybe consider just cutting her from the sport. And honestly, Rodriguez, I think you should retire. No point in getting brain damage, right? That's women's MMA. No one's getting brain damage. let's just let's just be realistic here. This is supposed to be the cream of the crop of the UFC. I'm going Calvillo by decision. It's going to be pretty boring. Okay, so my pick's still the same for this one. I'm going Victor Hugo over Pedro Falco. I haven't done the research, but Falco's coming in on short notice, so yeah, I'm I'm still picking Victor Hugo. They've got a similar height, but Falco's shorter arms still. Not as bad as the previous matchup, a la Tengue, but he's still got short arms. So I think they've picked this for a reason, because Victor Hugo planned to fight someone with small arms. So they couldn't get as small arms, but they got some small arms still. So yeah, uh, yeah, I'm still going Victor Hugo. I think it takes place the same way. Victor Hugo playing to his reach and getting the finish. Norma Dumont versus Jermaine Durandamy. I'm picking Durandamy. She's been out for a while, but I don't really believe in ring rust. I just think she's bigger, stronger, longer. It it's a reasonable matchup for her. It gives her every opportunity. And like I said, I don't believe in ring rust. We see fighters take time off, long extended periods of time off, and come back and look as good as ever. Some would argue that that adds to longevity. So we'll have to see. But I am picking the randomy. I think the randomy by decision. I'm gonna say a decision. If not, a late TKO. I mean, let's be honest. Ring rust was just invented as like a cope, right? Court McGee versus Alex Morono. As much as I like McGee, I don't think he's much longer for the UFC. He's almost 40. He's coming into this from two consecutive losses. I'm picking Morono to bounce back against them with a TKO. Um, I think we could see Court McGee retire, maybe. But we'll see. We'll see. Um, do definitely think his best years are behind him, though. Trevor Peake versus Charlie Campbell. I'm picking Campbell by KO. Feels like a mismatch. Campbell has the reach and the cleaner boxing. I think it's going to be a very, very easy night for Campbell. Um, I don't think Peake's going to have any answers. I'm thinking TKO round two. Lukas Braz Braziski, Lucas Braziski versus Volta Walker. MMA Guru was saying that fucking Volta Walker is is Johnny Walker's brother. Um, there was some footage of Walker wrestling with Walker, Johnny wrestling with Volta. Um, I'm picking Volta by TKO ground and pound. He seems to be a fan of this method, um, and he's a big dude, he's a big scary dude. I did go look into him extensively. He's a big dude, big scary dude. Um, yeah, I think Lucas Brzeski gets fucking ragdolled. I think he gets ragdolled. I think it's an easy fight. I think he's getting fed to Walker, to be honest. So yeah, I'm picking Volta Walker by TKO. Ignacio Bahamundes versus Christos Giagos. I'm picking Bahamundes. He's bigger, longer, stronger again. I just don't think. I just don't think Christos has an answer. I don't think he has an answer for him. I think it's going to be TKO, maybe round two again. Picking a lot of round two TKOs, aren't I? Morgan Charrier versus Chepe Mariscal. I'm going Mariscal. I think this is going to be a war. And I do feel Mariscal is hard to put away, like to be finished. But I think it's going to go to a decision nonetheless. Uh, I think Sharia edges a split decision. But I do think it's going to be very, very close. I think there'll be arguments of robbery. Alexander Hernandez versus Damon Jackson. I'm going with Jackson. I think he takes his time. I do think he's outmatched on the feet, but I think he doesn't let that get ahead of him. I think he takes his time. He's patient. He gets it to the ground. Maybe not straight away. I do think Hernandez can stop a takedown. I think he can stop maybe one or two of them. Maybe even he stays standing for the first round. But I think Jackson stays determined. He doesn't get discouraged. He gets it to the ground, and he does enough to take a decision. Brendan Allen versus Chris Curtis, the main event. We're here. Allen is one of my favourite fighters at the minute. I really enjoyed the Paul Craig grappling match they had in the octagon, where he beat Paul Craig offensively grappling against Paul Craig. So that was a highlight for me in Allen's career. He has lost to Chris Curtis previously. Chris Curtis came in on short notice and knocked Allen the fuck out. Crazy. Uh, Allen was early in his career though. Had more holes in his game. Allen has improved. Um, Everything points to Allen winning the rematch. But in the words of Sean Strickland, here's the thing, you guys. I think Chris Curtis is like a rare sort of fighter, and not rare in the sense that like Sean O'Malley's rare, where Sean O'Malley can read patterns and fucking download what you do and your reactions and shit, and then he can start making traps for you to walk into, and they can be extremely elaborate. Um, and then he picks apart and finds your weaknesses. Not in that sense. Chris Curtis is a different sort of rare fighter. Chris Curtis is he's a guy who fights to level, we'll say, if that term applies. He's a guy who fights to level. So you put him in with someone who's dog shit, he's going to fight like dog shit. But you put him in with someone who's really good, like Allen, he'll fucking match that level. And that's sometimes to his detriment. Like I say, you put him in with someone shit, he's going to look like shit. Um, he usually looks not that great. He just fights to level. Um, that's how that's how I describe it. He fights to level. Um, he will match his opponent. Is typically is what I mean by that. He will match his opponent, and he's a tough guy. So you're not going to finish him so easily. And I think that's what gets him through his fights. That kind of ability to fight to level, to use what I think when he gets in there, he sees what the other person's good at, and he knows what he's good at, and he's like, okay, well they're good at this, and this. They're good at A, B, and C. My fucking, I can use my HJK to defeat that, but I can't use my LMNP because that's exploitable. I think that's kind of the way he fights, and when it's uh, against an opponent who's sloppier or an opponent who maybe even is beyond him technically, he can't read those patterns and make those associations. I don't think this is like I don't think this is a conscious thing he does like O'Malley. I think this is just something instinctual. He just kind of fights to level. It's a rare phenomenon. Okay, that's why I brought it up, um, and that's why I'm picking Curtis. A little bit crazy, I know, but I'm going wild with these. I'm having fun, so why not? I'm picking Curtis again to knock him out in round two. Um, I think there is a formula to beating Allen, and the formula is knocking him out in round two. That is the equation. That is the answer. You know? Yeah, I'm picking Curtis to knock him out in round two again. Yeah, I think Curtis is going to knock him out again. I see it going down the same way. I think Curtis matches Allen, and I think he lands the bigger shot. I don't think he's quicker, but I just think he's got better timing maybe. But Allen's timing's improved a lot, and Curtis's has arguably declined. No, I'm picking Curtis. I like the underdog. I'm picking Curtis. Yeah, Curtis by second round TKO. Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think. I'm always interested to hear it. Peace and love. I'll see you around.